Dual quarterback Jim McMahon. They've made believers out of just about everybody.
I think the Bears are having a really an outstanding year. That's probably an understatement since they're 11-0, but they play so well, and they played under adversity, and some with McMahon hurt a lot, and I just think that they're really the team that has the greatest opportunity, you know, to go to the Super Bowl.
The Bears certainly are number one. They've convinced Green Bay's Forrest Gregg.
You go into the ball game knowing when you play the Bears that you better play tough. If you don't play tough, you're going to wind up getting beat on the scoreboard, and you're also going to wind up getting beat physically.
The victory over Dallas was just that, on the scoreboard and physical, and shocked the whole country. And with their success has come the recognition.
The advantage everybody's going to have right now in preparing for them, you don't have to worry about your players. They know that they're going to be playing a great football team. They beat us badly. They have so many ways to beat you. I think that what you got to hope for is that you'll play your absolute best and that they'll have an off day.
So many ways indeed. Walter Payton throws a touchdown pass to the quarterback, Jim McMahon.
I think they'll go down as one of the greatest teams that's been on the field. They have talent. They're well organized. They're beautifully motivated, and their style is good.
The Bear style is the controlled emotion of the coach Mike Ditka and the flamboyance of Jim McMahon.
You can look back at some of the great teams, the Green Bay teams, the Pittsburgh teams, the Miami teams. You know, they had great longevity. You know, the Bears are just arriving. History will tell how good the Bears are. You can't predict history.
So today in Chicago, the Bears 11-0 face the improving Atlanta Falcons.
CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, the Atlanta Falcons against the Chicago Bears.
We're live at Soldier Field in Chicago, the home of the Bears with their 11-0 record. And today they entertain the Atlanta Falcons, who are 2-9 for the year. There had been some ominous weather forecast, but it really isn't that bad. 21 degrees is pretty cold, but the wind chill makes it only 10 degrees. Only 10. But the wind is really the factor, northwest at just 7 miles an hour. Jim McMahon, we mentioned a few times earlier, but he will not start today. He is dressed. He was in street clothes last week. Today he's in uniform, but will not play. Instead, Steve Fuller will start. Good afternoon. I'm Pat Summerall here with John Madden. We talked to Atlanta Falcon coach Dan Henning last night, and he said a rather unusual thing, I thought. We asked him what he thought it was going to take to win. He said, I want to make the game just as short as possible.
Well, of course, the way to make the game short is to keep the ball on the ground, to control it offensively with Gerald Riggs running the ball. And as he said, he would like to do that, keep their offense off the field, and then go into the fourth quarter and be close to them. He thinks because if they can get them into the fourth quarter and be close to it, then they can beat them in the fourth quarter. They just don't want to get blown out early. They really feel that they have two things going for them. One, obviously, is Gerald Riggs, who's the leading rusher in the NFL, and the other is the fact that this is the biggest game of the year to the Falcons. You know, they've had a dismal year, and they've said that if they could beat the Bears, that would give them a bright light on a bad season. That's the thing they have going. They think that the Bears, on the other hand, don't, because they thought that their big game was against Dallas last week and Miami next week, and that they may be looking past the Falcons. Now, just listening to the Bears, watching the Bears practice, talking to Coach Mike Ditka, I don't have that feeling that this Bear team will ever let down. I think that's the thing. They only know how to play one way. When they go out in the field, you go after everything in sight, and that's what got them 11-0, and I don't think they're going to change today.
Well, the Bears will have first crack at it. Mick Luckhurst will kick off for the Atlanta Falcons. A little bit of a wind, that 7-mile-an-hour wind is at his back. Dennis Gentry is back with Willie Galt. Both of them are dangerous. Galt, of course, world-class danger. Luckhurst to kick it off. Off the side of his foot, it's going to be Galt bobbling, finding the handle finally. And he's got that great speed. Galt out to about the 27, where he's taken down there by Sean Thomas. The Bear backs and receivers. Steve Fuller starting at quarterback. Peyton and Suey, the running backs, and Galt and McKinnon, the wide receivers. Up front, it's Covert, Bortz, Hilgenberg, Tom Thayer at right guard, Van Horn, the right tackle, and Emery Moorhead starting at tight end. McKinnon out to the left and Galton out wide to the right. Peyton and Suey change spots in the backfield. Both of them dangerous. Peyton great. Peyton gets the first carry. Breaks it into the secondary. Peyton gets a gain of about 15 before Buddy Curry finally knocks him down. The Atlanta defense. Brian Pitts, Benish, and Gann up front. The linebackers, Brady, Curry, and Al Richardson. And in the secondary, it's Young and it's Ben Byrne, but they're learning. Butler and Case and Wides, Case and Tiger Green, the secondary. First down. At Soldier Field, the Atlanta Falcons offensive backs and receivers. Archer starts at quarterback. Gerald Riggs, the lone runner. Wide receivers Stacy Bailey and Charlie Brown. And the two tight ends, Cox and Benson. A rebuilt by necessity offensive line. Sanders, Kewell, Jeff Van Note, the veteran at center. Joe Pellegrini, former defensive player. The offensive right guard, and Bill Frelick moves back to right tackle.
Now, when you talk about Jeff Van Note being a veteran, there's a real veteran. 17 years, going on 40 years old, bending over, snapping that ball. That's a real veteran.
At that position, that's a tribute. Benson was the move man. It's Riggs to the football, tries the right side, is hit after maybe a yard. Otis Wilson, the defensive player of the week last week. The Bear defense could have been voted player of the week. Hampton, McMichael, Perry, and Dent. The Refrigerators, number 72. The three linebackers, Wilson, Singletary, and Wilbur Marshall. And the secondary, Richards and Frazier on the corners, Durison and Fensick, the safety men. Archer gives on the draw to Riggs. He breaks away from one, can't get away from Otis Wilson. He got only a yard.
They were talking about Jeff Van Note being in the league 17 years and still have to line up on a young rookie that weighs about 310 pounds by the name of the Refrigerator by the second play out of the game.
It's a big game for both those clubs. This is a big game, a very important game for Atlanta. And of course, the Bears would like to stay unbeaten. Seeks that Miami record. The mix-up in the backfield. Fuller rolls out, has Emery Moorhead wide open. Moorhead gets down into Atlanta territory. Stopped by David Fry, a pickup of 21.
You know what I think that was, Pat? It was that Washington Redskin play where they pull a guard one way and a guard the other way. Watch the two guards cross. See them there? And they fake at the same time, then come out here on the bootleg, and they find the tight end. Now, that time, the Bears went into two tight ends, two wide receivers, the old Redskin one-back offense, and they ran the old Redskin bootleg play. Run. He said, I know what we have to tackle today.
He runs and is durable. Cliff Benson, number 87, moved in motion. Got the block in front of Riggs. Riggs gets to about the 32. Wilbur Marshall made the stop. NFL update time, and let's go back to New York and Brent Musburger.
Well, Pat, here's one for John. Take a look at this hit on Eric Hipple. Now, Jeff Davis, the linebacker at Tampa Bay, delivered on the sideline. It looked worse than it was. Hipple is up walking around. He has not returned. Obviously, he's a little woozy, but he took a blow, didn't he, John and Pat?
Not many times you see anybody get their helmet knocked off like that. Hipple had been hurt already. Third.
And he left early, and you got, of course, you look at the ball, and you move when that moves.
Hilgenberg does something a little bit unusual with the ball. He almost stands it on his end before he snaps it. Alvin Thomas hammers to the 35-yard line of Atlanta. Scott Case finally brought him down. A pickup of 17. Buddy Curry with the assist. That one to Arthur Cox. It was called back because of a penalty. Second down. Riggs the lone runner. The give is to Riggs. And he gets nothing. Maybe a yard. Hard to say who made that tackle. The Bear front four.
You know, we were talking about Walter Payton running a hill. He does this every day in the off season. Here's a picture of it. This kid that he's running with here is a college friend of his, but this is how he trained. You know, this is how he gets those legs in shape. This is where he gets the power. This is why he's really never been seriously injured. That's here in Chicago. He had one of those hills like that in Mississippi.
I don't know if I want to try that.
I'd be good coming down, you know. You know, like if you're a big guy and you can't see your feet and stuff, you can roll good. If someone could just get you up there, well, you can boom, you come rolling down those hills good. The hard part's going up those things. That's how you get strong legs and power. That really is, and he'll tell you that all his leg strength and all his power comes from that little drill we just saw running hills.
I wonder who tied the Atlanta 15. The Bears go with their setup that includes Gentry. And it's Gentry in motion. Falcons coming on a blitz. Again, Fuller was hammered. McKinnon is hammered. And he's in a battle with Scott Case, and down goes McKinnon on the bottom of that fracas. Fuller was really popped just as he let it go.
I'll tell you, and then Case hit McKinnon, and then McKinnon came back and Case. See an official down there without a hat. There's a flag down there. I think this has to be against McKinnon.
When you get back to the defensive play, and it was a good play to knock the ball away.
Unnecessary roughness, 25. Defense.
It's against Atlanta.
Unnecessary roughness, 85. Offense. After the play was over.
So we'll replay the down.
Well, that's when they choose in the back. See, you got the chewing tobacco, sleeves rolled up. All those things that offensive pads on his arms, but he's still a kicker.
It's possible he could be a good guy and still be a kicker.
Yeah, right.
Archer gives to Riggs, and Riggs gets only a couple. Pensick up quickly to make the initial contact. It really is. They fake to Riggs. Archer tries to go out, chased by Hampton. The ball comes loose. Steve McMichael was out there chasing too. They were saying his arm was coming forward. You notice McMichael is wearing, well, the refrigerator's into it. McMichael is wearing a protective shield in his face mask. He got poked in the eye.
You put that on defense, you can't play this game of football.
First and 10, and Payton swings wide to the right. He's got some running room. Payton dancing down the sideline. Payton, touchdown. Boy, what a job he did. Touchdown run by Walter Payton. The 10th touchdown of the season for him.
I'll tell you, I'll bet wide receiver Dennis McKinnon, number 85, made a heck of a block because half the group was congratulating Payton. The other half was congratulating McKinnon.
That makes it 2nd and 6 instead of first down. 4:51 left to play in the first half. Archer, the quarterback. Durson sneaking up the blitz and does. Along with Otis Wilson. By the way,
two in there and block it against big defensive ends.
First down, Bears. Fuller back to throw again. Going deep for Galt. Galt hangs on, bounces at about the 1-yard line. Combination has moved it twice. Pick up of 50 yards. Perry is in the Bear offensive lineup, the backfield. And he may be 300+ pounds, but he's an athlete.
I'll tell you, he's always saying he can stuff the ball and so on a basketball. I can believe it. That's something. I mean, standing right in front of that table and jumping up with both feet and just keep doing it. And he got a lot of stuff he has to bring up there with him.
It's a 3-foot table.
Yeah, how'd you like to be the floor?
4 rushes, 6 yards, 1 TD.
And then he had 1 throw-in, too. Remember last week he threw Peyton in.
Or tried to. Perry, of course, is number 72. Touchdown. Up and over.
That new move, you know, he used to just run in there. Now he has this deal where he's going to dive. Boom, 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 whap! Oh, he just goes right up over, gets that thing in it. How'd you like to be those guys blocking for him when he's going to fall on you?
Rams need to get back on track. Archer outside of Riggs. Chased by William Perry and caught from behind. You think he can't run?
Now, I'll tell you, there is a great athletic move. You know, they can talk about the things he does in offense, but this is where he's going to make. Watch him start on the pass rush. Now he's going to come right down the line, turn right, but watch him sprint here. He sees Riggs, he gets out there. Now that is a heck of a play. I mean, that's a heck of a play for any defensive tackle.
Turn. Anthony Allen has taken his place, number 85. Archer, 1 out of 10 for a gain of 1. Hard to win in the NFL with that kind of passing.
That's a tough thing, and that's what makes Riggs' running all the more amazing. That, you know,
he's up finally as the flanker, and indeed they will have to throw it. Most of the running has been away from. That was Hampton who put the tag on him, and most of the sprint outs have been away from Richard Dent, and that's easy.
Try to talk me into getting a pair of that. I don't think I'd ever do that one.
I'm glad. Vincent with the interception. Stays on his feet. This will be the last play of the first half. Vincent laterals to Mike Richardson. Richardson's going to toss it to somebody else, and does. The ball's still hot. Football is fun in Chicago in 1985.
I think one of the things here that hurt Dave Archer is Charlie Brown kind of stopped running. He slows up, and he should have just kept going, but Vincent gets the ball. Now, here's where it is fun. He says, they're going to tackle me here. I'll lateral. Richard said, I'll take it a while. Well, let's see if I can find some. Yeah, I'll throw it back there. Fumble it. Pick it up. Let's go. Hey, fun. Refrigerator. We'll get a snack.
Well, Peyton has got those good moves you just looked at, and he's always had pretty good moves. When he was 17.
Mary Jones, Mississippi. Sue Walter State from Mississippi.
Still loves to dance, doesn't he?
He even had the sweatbands on there. Here's his move now.
Be ready. So it's not something new. It's
can always do it.
He is indeed remarkable. Second half coming up as the Bears lead the Falcons 20-0. Little to do, though.
Well, that's the thing, and then the other thing is those yards passing. That you know, Gerald Riggs is one thing, and rushing is one thing, but you still have to be able to throw the ball, or at least the threat of throwing the ball. After that is when he got into it.
Archer is hit just as he lets it go, and it's picked off by Frazier. Leslie Frazier with a convoy in front of him. Headed down the far side of the field. Frazier still on his feet. Finally tackled from behind by Billy White Shoes Johnson and Jeff Van Note. But the Bears get it deep in Falcon territory.
Well, you know, we were talking to Frazier yesterday. We said, how do you like playing after all that man-to-man? He said, I'll tell you, if they rush like that, he said, I like it. He said, I can cover. He said, but I can't cover out there for a long time. He said, I can cover. can't cover out there for a long time, but if they give me a pass rush, he said, then I can cover anyone. I'll tell you, that's how he got that interception that time. Fuller was hit just as he threw the ball.
Pressure. First 21. Bears leading 20-0. Thomas sets up in front of Peyton. Peyton again. First down.
Isn't it something when the other team knows that they're going to run him and they still can't do anything about it? I mean, he runs one, and then he runs another times and just gets first downs or creates short yardage situations.
Remember what you were talking about, finishing off a run? You were talking about Riggs, but watch this.
I'll tell you, and I don't think anyone finishes off a run better than Walter Payton. You know, down there at the end, just putting his head down, keeping those feet moving, getting that next yard or two. But then the amazing thing is this guy's been doing it for 11 years in this league.
Unbelievable. 148 straight starts. Falcons take over deep in their own territory at their own 4-yard line. I believe the Falcons have a new quarterback. Bob Holly hands it to Riggs. Riggs hit right at the line of scrimmage. Mike Singletary made the hit.
Well, now what these Bear fans are yelling for is a defensive touchdown. Remember last week in this same situation, Hampton came in, knocked the ball down. Richard Dent picked it up or caught it in the air for a touchdown. Dog. And then all the defense started barking like dogs. The Cowboys came up to the line of scrimmage.
Dan Hampton has just been helped to the sideline. The Bears all-pro defensive tackle who had a bad shoulder. Holly is hit in the end zone. If they want that defensive touchdown, it's going to be close. The ball was loose. Mike Hartenstein picked it up. Richard Dent came from the other side to make the hit that caused that fumble by Holly. Not a touchdown, but they get it at the 3.
Right, it's Richard Dent. He's going to come from the outside right here, the backside of Holly. Right there. See, he backed into him. He got his shoulder, whipped his arm around, knocked the ball. Dent came from that side like he was shot out of a cannon. Whoa, did he come tough from that backside. Holly, of course, didn't see him, nor did he feel him.
So it's first and goal.
Watch it here. You can see him coming. Come right out of the screen right there. Boom, boom.
Thomas and Peyton are the running back. Moorhead was the man who moved. Peyton goes in motion. The Calvin Thomas stand-up touchdown. Consecutive 100-yard rushing game. And the Bears will probably leave him in there when they get the ball back. Wisnett was the man in motion. They try to run the counterplay to Riggs, and he is caught from the backside by Wilbur Marshall. That play, which was so successful for Washington a couple of years ago, is now being defensed like that.
And that's exactly how they're doing it. They're catching it from the backside. As the backside starts to pull, you see the guard and tackle, you just get in behind them and let them bring you right to the receiver or right to the ball carrier, I mean. And I'm saying, what the heck did I ever do to these guys?
One of the very few times you'll see Dent on this side of the Bear defense. He usually comes strictly from the right. They're going for it. And you'd have to guess it would be Riggs, and they don't make it. Dan Hampton led the surge. He was there first.
Now, and again, it was Dent also. It was Hampton and Dent. Dent came down from the outside. Singletary's in there hitting helmets with the other guys. Come on, get fired up, huh?
27-0 Bears. Bears their own 39. Gain of 8 on that last play. Scott Case finally got him down, and he ought to be close. He's got it. 102. Excuse me, 102. Down, and he ought to be close. He's got it. 102. Excuse me, 102. That ties the record. Gentry is taking his place. Not too much to say about this ovation. 20 carries, 102 yards for Walter Payton. Before he's through, he'll own all the rushing records. Left to play. Bears leading 27-0.
Well, they have the right idea. They just can't keep that thing up there.
Lake Michigan right behind those two hardy souls. Bob Holly chased into the end zone safety. Henry Wechter and Richard Dent. Holly had no chance whatsoever. Third sack of the day.
I'll tell you one thing about these Bears is that, you know, we said earlier, they aren't the type that lets up, and when they get you down, they don't let up. When they get you down here, they get you backed up. I'll tell you, they're coming here. No one just blocks Wechter right there. And then they get it from both sides. Poor old Holly, as you said, he didn't have a chance. He just got sandwiched. Watch that rush. They got one coming from the left. Wechter right there. Then Dent from that back side. And they all meet at the same time right at Holly in the end zone.
Chicago 36. Atlanta nothing. Look at that. The Bears have outgained their opponents in total yards. 1,117 to 373 in the last 3 games. And think back in the last 2 games, the score has been 80-0.
That's what I was going to say. In the last 2 games, yeah, they haven't. The other team hasn't got in that end zone, and they just seem to get it in there against them. That makes. I still can't figure out how that jacket fits him. I think, see in the back, he got it drooped. I got to see the front of that. Yeah, I got to see that. Yeah, that doesn't cover much of the front. That's why. That's a running back's jacket, Biscuit.
Got a good defensive secondary. Here come the Bears after Archer. Down he goes. 4 sacks on the day.
Well, at least they could put us out of our agony here. They can't call any more timeouts. Why you call a timeout when you're down 36-0, I have no idea. But at least they've run out of timeout, so the only thing they can try is one more shot.
And there's the last shot fired by the Bears, and Wechter and Hartenstein chase Archer. It's been a day of retreat for Archer. $36-0 at Soldier Field. Cold Soldier Field.